I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's up, everybody? I'm back. It's episode 92 of the Mad Titan Podcast. I'm your resident super villain, Mr. Jay Washington. We are trying to keep this thing weekly, like I told y'all people. I almost had to do this either A, tomorrow, or B, next week because I am fucking exhausted. I'm not going to even lie and stress this out and be bullshitting y'all and be like, man, I say I'm tired all the time. If you follow my Instagram and everything I've been doing on social media, I've been going nonstop every day for over a week and a half. With no breaks and nothing really anytime soon. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm grateful for it, but God damn it, I am tired. But nonetheless, I respect you all and I appreciate you all and my commitment to you all. So that's why I am fucking here. All right. Thank you everybody who listened last week, of course. Man, I love the comments y'all be having on YouTube and everything to keep it going. I appreciate that. And also just keeping the discourse civil. That's the realest shit you can do for me because we are talking comic book movies and TV shows. It is not that fucking serious. And I say that because I just did a show. Like I'll tell you about this last night. So my guest this week, man, my brother, man, no other way to put it. The homie B to the C. What up, bro?
My man, what's up, Jay? It's good to be back on the Mad Titan Podcast. And I just want to know when we're going to watch Venom.
You know, so you go straight to hell with all that. I mean, I know it's been a minute, everything that was going on. I'll acknowledge that, like I openly did on the show, but everything has subsided. You've done some work and everything's been done. And so when those things clear themselves and clear the air, I'm like, you know what? I told you I was always here with you and rocking with you. So, you know what I'm saying? So you're here with me. Now let's just get that out the way. As far as us watching Venom together, I will cut your Achilles tendon before I watch either Venom again. Like Venom, I would rather watch Venom 1 than rewatch Venom Let There Be Carnage.
But Let There Be Carnage was a fantastic film. Oscar worthy.
You are on all of the dope. Oh, what shit was that? That's a red one. Shut the fuck up.
But he went to a rave.
That's a red one. I said, I will kill everybody.
He went to a rave and dropped the mic.
Yo, Venom, for those who think it's a game, Venom, the symbiote gets tired of Eddie Brock in Venom Let There Be Carnage. Says,
Are you thinking some of your audience hasn't seen Let There Be Carnage?
I think there's probably somebody who's like, I don't want to see this. Look, for those who need a reminder, okay? I saw this movie once and this scene is etched in my brain. These scenes. Venom is tired of it. You don't let me have any fun. You don't let me do anything. You don't let me eat blah, 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 but I got 2 pet chickens. The fuck? Okay. So the symbiote decides to leave Eddie, which, by the way, the symbiote has, in order to live, has to go host to host to host to go to a rave. Now,
as they keep dying.
For those of us who remember Venom 1, he says, if someone can't survive the host, they die. Venom murders 8 people to go. So just murders me. Like niggas ain't living after the symbiote leaves them.
And nobody everyone's just like, yeah, he's the good guy in the movie.
There is no police. We talk about the police about 2 months, like it's just mysterious deaths. So then this woman goes to rage. You should be free to who you want to be. You should be come out. Oh, we gonna do Venom as a coming out party? Are you fucking kidding me?
Classic cinema, incredible message.
I understand that this movie leans into the cheesiness that it did in the 90s. I get it. But nigga, sometimes you just want to be free. Love who you love. Be who you be. What? Is that a script? Fight all you niggas. Anyway,
it's so good to be back, Jay.
All right, but this is what I said about the shit about the discourse, right? So I was doing a show, and there's a dude who was clearly I think all Marvel movies are just the same. They're all just the same thing. I was like, bro, most comic book stories are the same. What the fuck are you talking about? He was like, it's just, I'm getting so tired of it. I think it's going to burn out soon. I was like, yeah, you do realize superheroes now its own genre.
Facts.
It's its
with
own
subgenres in it.
It's right. It's its own genre with a subgenre. Like, it's not going anywhere.
No.
Then he was like, well, all those movies that came out this year, all the Marvel movies were a flop. I said, bro, it was a pandemic. There were people not going. But Spider-Man, dude, I said Spider-Man is the anomaly of the whole box office year.
Yeah. It's not just because it's a superhero movie. It's any movie. It's no other movie did anything.
No other. I was like, he was like, oh, so people weren't scared to go see Spider-Man, but they were scared to go. I was like, yes, people didn't give a fuck. I said, right? It was 21 years worth of history, and people didn't want to wait or be spoiled, so they just sucked it up and went to go see it. No, I don't think that's what it is. I said, that's exactly what the fuck it was.
Trust me, if I could have watched Spider-Man at home, I would have, but I couldn't.
Most people would have.
So I took my ass to the theater 3 to 4 times to watch that home.
Most people would, and that's the thing. Most people, if they could, like, look, I've been telling people this, and I've said it on the podcast, and I've always said it. The simul release thing was always in the cards. It was always something to future. It was like, yo, streaming. What about the possibility of streaming movies at home when they come out? That was always in the cards. It was always in the future. But what made it more possible was the world shutting down. So again, if people could have chose to stay the fuck at home safer, if you will, they would have done that.
Let me ask you this, Jay, because I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Do you like the idea of the day and day?
Mm-hmm.
Because most people in this world, they want to go back to the theater.
But
me personally, as someone who lives in Texas, I don't want to go back to the theater. I like watching it on my big ass screen at home with my big ass sound system.
But you just said it. That's people in this space. I've said it on Blurs. I've said it on here. People have to remember this. Everyone is not a cinephile.
Yeah.
Everyone's not oh my God, you have to have the theater experience. There are a lot of people that are like, as long as I see the movie, it's all good.
I consider myself a cinephile, but I'm perfectly fine watching it at home.
And I understand.
And maybe it has a lot to do with other people in the theater.
Yeah. That's some people like, I don't have to, like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Seeing Avengers Endgame in theaters was something special with the crowd. I get it. I admit that.
Yes.
But there's some movies you don't have to see with crowds. And again,
with little baby son of a bitch crying over here.
And that's the thing I'm saying. Like, yes, I preferred watching Avengers Endgame in the theater. Yes, I did. Would it have made any difference if I'd have seen that shit at home? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I'd have popped the same way I did in the theater. Like, I sit here and watch Peacemaker at home and laugh my ass off in my apartment loudly.
Facts.
And Peacemaker is shot like a movie every episode.
Yeah.
So, people, so what dude was like, oh no, it's just that these movies were bombed. They didn't promote. I was like, the Eternals is a whole different ball game. I said, look, I'm gonna always defend the Eternals because it's an obscure character group that most people have no fucking clue what they're watching anyway.
Yeah.
If you ask people who are the Eternals outside of that Marvel movie, they don't know. And I'm not playing gatekeeper, but it's the same thing when it came to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Before that team was introduced, which again, we'll talk about this later. Before that was introduced, nobody knew who they were. So when people keep bringing up these dumbass antiquations of, Black Widow bomb. Yes, Black Widow had its issues. I knew, but see, that was also the thing of Black Widow is a different thing because everybody kept saying this is a 10 years too late movie.
Yeah.
Most people were just like, yo, why do we need this now? And then when you realize it's only a movie just to introduce one character.
Exactly.
Literally. But at the same time, yes, Thor: The Dark World is a 2.5-hour plot device for the ether. That is the only reason Thor: The Dark World happens. It is a whole movie about an Infinity Stone. Literally. Now, yes, I understand you can say Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is for that, but it also introduced you to a team that you were going to need. It introduced you to the Thanos that we were going to have in the future. So it did more than that. But Thor: The Dark World is all about the ether.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck about them elves. Don't fuck about the dark elves.
I did love that we had to go back there in Endgame.
Yes.
and even Thor's laughing. The dark elves. Ooh. I love that they did that.
But let's get into it, man. For those who are new to the show, thank you for being here. What I do is I get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. It is barbershop talk for nerds. I'm telling you this now, like I've already stated earlier, I'm going to probably say some shit that you're not going to like, and it might make you in your feelings. And if you in your feelings think, oh, you just hating, trust me, I'm not just hating. I got a reason for why I don't like certain shit or certain people. There's always going to be reasons and rationales. I'm never just going to be, oh, this. And then, or if I give you a reason, it's the most stupid ass reason in the world. No other way to put it. So I digress. But with that being said, I got to kick it off with I always kick it off with my Marvel news, and one of the biggest stories that has dropped over the past week. We talked about it on Blurs in the Hood, which you should check out every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Me and Winston A. Marshall. The Wasp, Evangeline Lilly, says that she attended the anti-vaccine mandate where Robert F. Kennedy Jr. spoke and compared it to Nazi Germany. This is what she put on an Instagram post. She said she attended the rally to, quote, support bodily sovereignty, yeah. And that she believes that nobody should ever be forced to inject their body with anything against their will under the threat of, and listed several phrases, including loss of employment and violent attack. She said, I was pro-choice before COVID, and I'm still pro-choice today. She added the hashtags, hashtag medical freedom, hashtag body autonomy, and hashtag defeat the mandates DC. All right, now, here's the deal with that. I've stated this numerous times via here, Blurs in the Hood, wherever else I've spoken on. Y'all know I feel like this. Vaccine mandates, I'm tired, so I'm going to stumble a little bit. Vaccine mandates are nothing fucking new. I need people to stop acting like this is a brand new thing. Your children are mandated to get vaccinations to go to school. Okay? Medical professionals in certain fields are mandated to get vaccinations, or guess what? They will lose their jobs. The army, the military, they are mandated to get vaccinations or risk being what? Dishonorably discharged. It's loss of employment. And people can say, oh, well, they're under orders. It's still a job. You can be fired from your job. So when people keep acting like this is something new, it's not. It is, again, the fact you motherfuckers have made a virus political. That is it. You cannot go to certain countries without having those vaccinations. And guess what? You can't use religious and medical freedom because the country won't let you in. They don't have to. It's like the shit that went in on with Australia with the dude, the tennis dude who was like, oh, well, I got this. And the country was like, fuck you. We ain't allowed to let you in. The country can set their own rules. Mm-hmm. Again, it has always been this way. It's because motherfuckers have politicized a virus. So for her to say that, which by the way, I was telling BC this, and I've said this on Blurs. Winston and I've said this. She's the star of a film, which puts her in the Zone A category in SAG productions, which means she has to be vaccinated. Disney is not playing any games with people. They have fired people because they wouldn't get vaccinated. She had to be vaccinated. Letitia Wright had to be vaccinated to come back over to America. So what are you trying to tell me? Oh, she can talk all that bullshit, but she's been played this game before. Now because it's yes, you're pro-choice, all this, that, and the third. But we're not going to try to use pro-choice for women's rights to choose whether they want to have a kid or not to this. Because this is all done politically. I don't give a fuck on what side of the aisle you fall on. None of that bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. But this is all a political thing about people not wanting to get that. So I had to get that off my chest, bro. You can give me.
I'm with you, bro. But like here's the thing. Me, you know me. I'm vaxxed. But if you don't want to get vaxxed, go ahead, do you. But remember, when you work for someone like Disney, if you don't want to get vaxxed, cool. Shut the fuck up. you probably should not be comparing nobody to Nazi Germany, given what just happened with Gina Carano and The Mandalorian. Like,
but here's the difference with that.
Shut the fuck up.
Here's the difference with that. And I'm going to just be real. Evangeline Lilly has a solid track record of acting, not just being in projects.
Exactly.
She can act. Yes. Gina Carano cannot act.
Gina was about to get her own show.
I know
not
that
anymore.
But I know that too.
So,
and people are like, well, how do you get your own show?
What's that going to mean for Evangeline Lilly and the Wasp going forward?
So that's my next point. That's why I saved this thought for this podcast. I saved that for this. I've said it a little bit on blurbs and all that. First, the same thing I will repeat. Y'all need to keep that same fucking energy for Evangeline Lilly that you had for Letitia Wright. You really need to keep that same energy across the board. Plain and simple.
Were they pissy at Letitia
Wright? Man, nigga, the recast story and blah, 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 blah. I ain't seen that across the board from the same people that did that about Letitia Wright have not done that about Evangeline
They wanted
Lilly.
to recast Shuri?
Yes, because
God, I hate the internet.
That's what I'm saying. So because, okay, listen, there are a lot of people that are going to say this and be like, yo, how can you say that easily? There are going to be people who have different opinions and thought processes than us all day, every day. I understand it. Even when it comes to this vaccination shit and COVID. Absolutely. But because you don't like where they stand on something, am I saying they should be recast in the project? Absolutely not. Because guess what? It is not my duty to cast them, fire them, or anything. It's not my job. Now, if you're going to say, well, I don't have to watch the project, that's fine. You don't have to watch it. Fact. But to sit there and be like, oh, they should just recast them now. Get the fuck on. Now you're doing what we like. Again, people keep saying it's not a thing, but that's that, oh, we're going to cancel them, quote unquote, because they don't do what we want them to do. Y'all got to chill with that.
Exactly.
Yo, now they can recast the Wasp. Look, you didn't care about shit about the Wasp beforehand, just like motherfuckers love Shuri until you found out she retweeted a video. Again, am I on their side of how they feel? Absolutely not. But if the company they work for is still like, yo, we good. If the director is like, yo, we good, blah, blah, blah. Because my thing is this too. Evangeline Lilly ain't saying shit openly unless Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is done filming, which it is.
Yeah.
Which it is. Because she's felt like this the whole fucking time.
Yeah. It's not like this came out of nowhere.
This ain't out of nowhere. This ain't out of nowhere. She only is going to say this because she saw the hell that Letitia Wright caught. Now, all of a sudden, she's done filming. You're not going to reshoot that whole fucking movie.
No.
You're not going to reshoot that movie. So, and then you're not going to all of a sudden.
It's not like like you could just go in and just replace her either. That's not something you could just go do.
Just
so
do that.
She's sitting here going, I'm safe at this moment. I can say whatever I want now.
And then I know people are like, well, what about the next movie, et cetera, et cetera. That is a whole different thing. Absolutely. But to sit there and be like, now they should recast, people got to chill on that shit. Mm-hmm. I think the internet, again, I say this, the internet and social media as a whole has been a great thing and an abysmal thing at the same time. Yeah. It has given everybody a voice, which makes it a great thing. But it has given everybody a voice, which is the bad thing.
Terrible thing. Exactly.
It's a terrible thing. And so, yes, do I think she's a fucking moron for this? Yes. Will I always say people are fucking more? Well, what about the studies that show people have got? There are no studies. Stop trying to twist shit around or taking bits and pieces of shit.
There are exceptions. There are not studies.
Right. There are exceptions to the rule, of course, because guess what? The flu vaccine fucks people up. The measles vaccine fucks people up. Everybody's body chemistry is different. Mm-hmm. There is no vaccination, no drug, nothing that is 100% effective for everybody across the board because everybody's bodies are different. So that's just a thing. We get it. But to be an idiot and be like, oh, this vaccine was experimental and new. That's what I've always said. SARS was introduced to the world and understood over 20 years ago in China. What is COVID? SARS-CoV-2. What is a coronavirus? The common fucking cold. But y'all don't want to talk about that. But which means the vaccination for SARS, that how China got back to work back then, was already done. So now virologists and those who work in vaccine studies, those are the peers to each other, by the way, with Aaron Rodgers, you fucking moron, by saying you can't question science. They're the ones who question the peers of the scientists question it, not you random goof ass people who just click a YouTube link. It's the motherfuckers who understand how shit's broken down. You don't, but they do the study, and therefore they know what to do to go to next steps. Well, how can you make something so quick? It's because technology advances, you fucking idiots. How do you think we have video games that look realistic and lifelike? Because technology advances, and if that is just on a video game spectrum, imagine what medical science does on a daily fucking basis. I am sorry for this rant, but I just had to say that. All right, cool.
I love it. God, I miss Jay. Tell him, Jay. Let him go. Preach.
I had to get that out of my system because it just really upsets me.
Yeah.
Now, She-Hulk is coming out soon. I am excited to see it. I've seen some behind-the-scene footage with Tatiana Maslany, and I am
really
so happy. Look, my God, they made Jennifer Walters thick. I was like, that's what look, let's just be real for the men and women that listen to the show. She-Hulk is sexy as fuck. Green and all, okay? Green and all.
Hey, not to randomly jump off topic, but speaking of thick, did you see Melina last night?
Bro. Melina was grown woman, sexy thick. By the way, we was watching Royal Rumble. I know some of my homegirls text me, was like, who is this bitch? Damn.
I said, Melina's still gonna do. Oh, she can still do the split that thick too. What's up?
I was like, like I said, my homegirls were texting me, was like, who is this bitch? Damn. I was like, yo, that's Melina. They was like, no, not the chick from back. I was like, yes. They was like, yo, like, and my homegirl, one of my homegirls who actually texted me, she's not even bisexual, I don't think. She was like, that bitch would get it. I was like, you damn right she would. So, but I digress.
All right. So back to She-Hulk.
We're getting She-Hulk a little bit later this year. And Tim Roth, who is reprising his role as Abomination, he has asked, would Abomination be back in his human form? And he said an enthusiastic, oh, yeah. But so we're going to get Emil Blonsky looking back as his role. But then he described Tatiana Maslany as, quote unquote, a powerhouse. But he shared a few more thoughts. This is what he shared with the playlist. He says, quote, I had a lovely time. We shot I don't know why I did the accent because I'm talking like Tim Roth. We shot last year. I don't know if we may be doing some pickups or whatever, but I really enjoyed it. He said, I've always wanted to work with Mark Ruffalo, so I basically got to hang out with him on set. The fantastic who plays the lead in the whole thing, Tatiana, is a remarkable human, so I had a blast. It was tough, though. Before, you never know what you're going to be doing with these things. You get the dialogue first thing in the morning. He laughs. He said, it's just that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It surprised me. It just surprised me that they would think of bringing that character back. And what they've done with it, quote unquote, no spoilers, is quite enjoyable. What do you think we're getting out of Abomination in She-Hulk?
I think Abomination is taking the place of Red Hulk in the Thunderbolts. I think they are building a Thunderbolt team, and they're going to use Abomination instead of the Red Hulk. Only because they're like, well, if we use Red Hulk, old boy's getting kind of old. But Tim Roth, we can keep using.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
That most people that listen to Mad Titan, y'all are comic book fans, so you know that Thunderbolt Ross, the Secretary of Defense, becomes the Red Hulk after trying to shit on himself. So,
and I think we've gotten past the point that we can do that storyline with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good move to move Abomination in there. So you got him coming in, then you'll have what's his name from Falcon and Winter Soldier. The agent, was it U.S. Agent or?
Oh yeah, U.S. Agent. Yeah,
U.S. Agent, and then you got the new Black Widow, and you got.
So you think they're doing that with the Countess?
Yes,
but here's
I think that's what she's setting up.
I mean, I agree. That's what I think she's setting up. Yeah,
which is why he's training with Wong, because that's going to put him in more of the good guy kind of category, and he becomes more that our side rather than villainous.
So you think we get Julia Louis-Dreyfus showing up in She-Hulk?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm surprised we did not get her in Hawkeye.
But here's the thing. I thought about that for a second because it would have to explain the whole thing with Yelena, because there's kind of the plot hole that involves there because of the end of Black Widow. You have the Countess says, yo, I'm gonna show you who killed your sister, and sends it up to be Hawkeye. But I guess it just so happened to coincide, unless we can get a backstory about that.
I think she's very old girl from Suicide Squad, Amanda Waller. She's a good guy, but she's also got her own interests and things she's working on. So that's why I kind of see them pulling this together. And I think that's where we're going to get Abomination. I think his part in She-Hulk will be about Yelena's part in Hawkeye. I don't think it's going to be huge, but I think it's going to be impactful.
I just want to know if you got to have Jennifer Walters defending Abomination on the stand. Like, Your Honor, this is my client, Emil Blonsky. As you can see, he got gills, but he okay. He
good dude now.
He a good dude. Like, he ain't that, he ain't that bad, I don't think. Like,
let me ask you, because we haven't really talked much since Spider-Man came out. Do you think Murdoch shows up in this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It would only make sense. You used Matt Murdock as a lawyer, right? To introduce him to the MCU. We saw in that one little quick scene, spoiler alert, he is Daredevil because he caught a brick. Which, by the way, shouts out to everybody who was like, hey man, this don't seem realistic. And then when you think about it, I was like, what do you mean? It was like, this motherfucker caught a brick that was thrown. It was like, he didn't have on the Daredevil suit. He ain't got super strength. He caught a brick. I say, well, when you put it there, I mean, Bruce Leroy caught bullets with his teeth in The Last Dragon. So what you know what I'm saying? I don't know what you expect.
My president, someone threw that brick. They ain't on the bottom floor. Like, they've showed that apartment. That apartment was up pretty high. How did they get that up there?
Right. That's a lot of momentum that came with that brick. Like, I agree. People like, wait, how the fuck he can? Like, look, it was a great visual. Don't get me fucking wrong.
But he's a really good lawyer.
I'm a really good lawyer. He really is a really good lawyer. He only gets paid in fish. All right, let's.
So on. That's what I'm mostly excited about is to see, how this world goes, where She-Hulk takes place, because I
think everything is current day.
Okay, if it's current day, why is there the footage of Bruce with the arm sling on, or was it? No, we see Hulk with the sling on in the trailer, in the footage we saw.
But you have to, because remember. So spoiler alert, in Shang-Chi, he's back human.
Yes.
Marvel does that all the time.
Think the footage in the thing is not what's actually in the show? Yeah,
probably not, because think about it. He's probably learned how to go back and forth again.
Okay.
Because think about this. Remember Thor losing his eye, we didn't see that in the trailers.
No.
When Thor lost his eye in Thor Ragnarok, you never saw it.
We haven't seen that bait and switch on the shows yet.
Fair, but again, because a lot of the shows didn't have major implications from the film per se.
Yeah.
And again, Hulk snapping and burning his motherfucking arm off, and now all of a sudden figuring out how to be back Bruce after Shang-Chi, it's a kind of a catch-20. We'll figure out how it plays.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how it plays. Again, Marvel will give us another official timeline of when everything is going, because I think a lot of shit is happening concurrently.
Yeah.
I think what it is, we're getting shit one after the other, but I would not be surprised if it's
all going on at the same time.
They all are happening at the exact same time.
I get that feeling, because I always said that I figured that the end of Loki, the end of WandaVision, and Strange doing the spell.
All those are the same thing.
Exact same moment.
Yeah, I've said that too. Because I kept saying to people, I don't think one thing breaks the multiverse.
Yeah.
One thing doesn't break the multiverse, but multiple things fucking with the multiverse at one time can break the multiverse.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe we're dealing with a lot of stuff. But remember, before Avengers 1, you had Iron Man 2, the Hulk, and Thor were all happening at the same time.
Yep.
They were all happening at the same time. So again, we forget that though. We forget that. We always think things are like a month or two ahead of time or whatever, a year, et cetera, et cetera. But we forget that these things are happening in different places at the exact same time. All right, so let's move on. Speaking of Doctor Strange, so the synopsis has been released of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and it promises, quote, unquote, mind-bending and dangerous alternate realities. Now, this is the synopsis that has been dropped for the Sam Raimi directed sequel. All right, it says, quote, in Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the MCU unlocks the multiverse and pushes its boundaries further than ever before. Journey into the unknown with Doctor Strange, who with the help of mystic allies, both old and new, traverses the mind-bending and dangerous alternate realities of the multiverse to confront a mysterious new adversary. Well, we know that for sure the villain of this movie is Wanda Maximoff. So, like, Wanda's the villain, bro.
You think?
Yeah, who else is the villain?
I don't know, but after seeing that trailer that they put out,
Wanda's the villain, dog.
I went, you know what? I don't think she is the villain. I think
Why did you sound like a desperate housewife when you said that? I don't think she is the villain.
Because look, I'm getting into it, all right? I don't know. After watching that trailer, because what's weird is going before that trailer, I was like, yeah, Wanda's the villain. That's what we're doing. After that trailer, I go, oh, Wanda's not the villain. She's helping. Someone else is the villain.
But again, I think the multiverse Doctor Strange is a villain, but I think Wanda is the villain. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's more than one, but also, again, the fact that whether one of us are right or wrong, or both of us are wrong, that's what I love about it. I love the fact you don't know for sure.
Exactly.
I get to the point, people always like, oh, we see so much in the trailers, it gives away everything. And to be quite honest, they haven't done that.
Marvel does a great job not doing that.
They do a lot of, again, bait and switch, and they do a lot of sending you one way and then taking you another. And so that's great that we don't know. Like people like, oh, I see all the spoilers. No, you don't. You see a snippet of something and you think you know how it plays out, and it doesn't.
Well, however, to play devil's advocate, we did know that Andrew Garfield was kicking the lizard.
How?
You didn't see that? You didn't see that trailer where it shows the lizard's head get kicked, but there's no one actually there kicking the lizard?
Oh, that's the one. Oh, the same thing that people saw the way it was Electro, Sandman, and Lizard, and it was just everybody was like, these motherfuckers are looking at three different people. Yeah. We're like, these motherfuckers are looking at three different people. They're not just looking at. So we all understood that. Like,
yeah.
So I get that. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But here's another Doctor Strange thing. So we know that the movie, like I said, is directed by Sam Raimi. I think it has officially been confirmed now that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man will be in this. And how do we know? Now, of course, there have been rumors, right? Because he might briefly battle the Scarlet Witch, but this is where it pretty much has been confirmed. On Instagram, Mariana Torres, who is Wanda's voice in Portuguese, recently uploaded an IG story with Manolo Rey, who is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man voice in Portuguese. And she did it with the caption that said, "Good things are coming." Now,
that's interesting.
Well, that's how a lot of times that's how people are now finding out certain spoilers for certain things, because they've been going to find, because the actors themselves are, held to so many NDAs they can't say shit. And then, they can't really reveal anything. Excuse me. But, but
voiceover artists.
Voiceover, they can just take pictures. They just take pictures with one another. But people are like, yo, that's the voiceover for, because like if you do a voiceover for one, it's kind of like you've been cast in that role. Yeah. So you're doing the same thing over and over. But people are doing that. Again, I said this with Andrew Garfield. Can y'all let actors promote whatever the fuck they currently are promoting?
Thank you.
Like, that man was supposed to be promoting Tick, Tick, Boom. And every 7 seconds. So, No Way Home, right?
Like, of course he was pissed off and telling y'all no. He's not supposed to be talking about it.
He's like, yo, I'm here to promote. So it really frustrates me when people do that. Because it's like, you're supposed to be promoting another project. This is the reason you're interviewing them. And of course, yes, you can steer things, but it's like, why the fuck do you have to? I digress. All right. So let's go to my last Marvel story. So Eternals. Me and BC were talking about the Eternals before we started recording. So they introduced a lot of new characters to the MCU, of course, including Harry Styles as Eros and his unlikely ally, Pip the Troll, played by Patton Oswalt. Motherfucker saw Pip the Troll, was like, Pip the Troll for real? Like,
I'm pretty sure I called you right after. I said,
Did
these motherfuckers just pull out Pip? That's a deep ass cut.
Now, a lot of criticism came out online about Pip's appearance, and they compared it to the CG characters in the Polar Express. Now, there's a good reason, though, why he looked a little rough in the edges in the mid-credit scene. Now, in talking to the Wrap, visual effects supervisor Stephanie Soretti said, quote, "We shot that during the additional photography." She said it was still with Harry Styles, actually, but it was in the spaceship with all the other Eternals. It was a little bit more sad and not exciting in a way, so it didn't kind of resonate. Chloe had the idea of bringing in Pip the Troll as his sidekick for the end of the movie, so we did that pretty quick. Now, this is what Sprite actress Leah McHugh said about playing that, and Soretti goes on to further admit, she said it was a bit challenging to get it done in time, but we did what we could. It turned out okay. You're thinking, quote, Harry Styles is going to be hard to beat. It is what it is. I still think it was a fun in that moment, and I still think it's a lot of opportunities for fun stories later down the line.
Look, you know me. Like I love superhero movies. I've never been big into the comics. I know Pip the Troll by name alone. I'm not expecting a bunch of stories from Pip the Troll. I'm expecting him to kind of be there, kind of like Howard the Duck is there.
That's the thing too. Like, there's a lot of times the MCU has done.
Like, who's complaining about Pip the Troll, how he looks?
Because people want to find reasons to nitpick. Now, again, I admit it does look a little like, yo, what's up with this? But I think because we hold movies, especially Marvel Studios movies, to such a high standard. Yeah. We hold them to a point of being like, yo, you should have perfection, and no real movie has perfection to everybody. Exactly. Let's just be honest. But
dude, I love talking to people about the Eternals, because like I have a buddy. You got a buddy, my bro Anthony.
Yeah,
he gets really mad talking about Eternals because like he was stupid. I was like, why? He's like because a Celestial was coming out of the ocean that would have caused massive problems to the Earth. And I go, bro, it's a movie it's superheroes. Everything causes massive problems to the Earth, and this is what the one that is the over the edge.
But also, we don't know the results of what the effects of that
maybe
were.
It did cause massive problems to the Earth. We just don't have to see it.
This would be, again, between the snap, an underwater earthquake, quote, I'm using the air quotes, y'all can't see it, an underwater earthquake, and a fucking god rising up out of the ocean. This could be why Namor is like, fuck you niggas, all die on the land. Like, if this is why Namor is like, I hope all you bitches die. Like, if Namor says that, I get it. Again, I think people want automatic resolution to shit. Like, you can't get automatic you can't get automatic resolution to certain things, man. It doesn't play well. You get that, man. Look, I guess. All right.
It's like the people, but I get mad at people that complain about The Last Jedi, the opening scene where they're dropping bombs, and they're like, "There's no gravity in space. How do you drop a bomb?" I'm like, gravity in space is what you're complaining about in a movie with space wizards and laser swords?
Motherfuckers with aliens from every race, where people know how to speak 30 different alien languages, and you're complaining.
But gravity in space is where you draw the line.
Physics dictates that we're really okay.
Space wizard.
It's a space wizard.
Man in an iron suit. Captain America. A giant green rage monster. Oh, but God coming out of the water. That's where we draw the line. Gotcha.
Aliens ripped open the fabric of space and came through and fucked up New York City, right? 10 years ago, and now New York is back to normal.
Everybody's like, every building is perfectly
every
rebuilt.
building is normal. Everybody just living their life like, man, I'm gonna get these bitches and hoes. It's chicks out there like, yo, I'm finna find me a trick nigga. But but space with the gravity in space is gravity in space is where you draw the fucking line. Okay, there is a dude, when he gets mad, he will fuck up everything. Okay? Everything. But a nigga coming out the ocean, oh my God, the effect. That's where you draw the line.
There would be tidal waves.
A nigga brought a spaceship in and let an armada loose on a compound in upstate New York, right? And then got dusted. It's ash everywhere. The atmosphere should be disgusting, but no, the thing coming out the water is where you draw the line.
God,
I love all the shit in superhero movies that make no fucking. There is a spy with his only weapon being a bow and fucking arrow, okay? And this nigga is alive with a family, okay? And all he has is some hearing problems. But somebody coming out the water.
We're on a flying city fighting an army of robots, and I have a bow and
arrow.
But the guy coming out of the water doesn't make sense.
The man even said, none of this makes sense. None of it. Damn it. I just don't get. It's like nobody's ever said, man, these stories are based in reality. What fucking reality? All right. That's it for Marvel news. Let's move on to DC, man. So the Batman, its international rating has come out, right? And it confirms that the DC Comics movie includes, quote unquote, mild sex and nudity.
Ooh, mild sex and nudity. All right.
So listen, it was rated PG-13 it's rated PG-13 here, and it's rated up for strong, violent, and disturbing content, drug content, strong language, and some suggestive material, right? But in the international rating, it contains strong violence and language, moderate drugs, and mild sex nudity. We're all basically wanting the Batman to say, fuck Batman, just to say it about himself. You know what I'm saying? Look at someone in the mirror, fuck Batman. Hey, that's how you want to do it, Or Catwoman says, fuck me, Batman. Like, this is what we want out of life.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. The slight nudity is going to be Zoe Kravitz wearing barely anything.
Right, we're gonna watch her get dressed.
Yes.
So it's like we're gonna see some chocolate, some light mocha ass, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, that is too much for the children." Like the Catwoman is gonna be in lingerie, and there's gonna be some white mama going, "Oh my God, my baby had to see the Catwoman in a thong," and I'm like, "Your child probably grows up a healthy young man now, or a healthy young woman. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Your child already on Pornhub. Calm down.
Like, have you checked your child's search history? Yes, I have all the sites blocked. No, you don't, because I'm very damn sure you don't know them all. Whenever parents be like, I have all the porn sites blocked, anything with porn in the name. Well, that's how you fucked up, because porn sites ain't got porn in the name no more. XNXX.com. Anyway, I never knew there was so many sexy MILFs in my motherfucking life. Like, I didn't know there was so many sexy MILFs for the BB that like getting big black cocks. I was like, I knew all these Agneses wanted this dick.
And they all in your neighborhood too, ain't they?
They're all in your neighborhood. All you got to do is click on this thing. Then they ask you a couple questions. Are you willing to keep it discreet? Are you willing to be protected? And you willing not to talk shit? I was like, yes, yes, and yes. Now enter your credit card number. Hold on, bitch. I just wanted to meet you at the on the corner and see if you wanted to have a latte and get some dick. Anyway, this went really off the rails. This went really off the rails about So, Matt Reeves has recently come out and speaking with Esquire about why he didn't take Ben Affleck's script, and he wanted to do something different. Because remember, Ben Affleck had wrote a whole Batman movie, everything. It was co-written with Jeff Johns.
That we all wanted to see.
I mean, I don't want to see shit where. No offense, Jeff. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see
a Ben Affleck directed Batman. I would have wanted to see.
I don't want. Look, give me Jeff Johns written comic books all day.
Yeah.
Right. Jeff Johns written movies. That's how. You know what? Let me finish reading this story. So this is why he said it. He said, "quote." It was a very action driven. It was deeply connected to the DCEU and with other major characters from other movies and other comics popping up. I just knew that when I read this particular script was not the way I wanted to do it. He said, I told them there have been so many great movies, but if I were to do this, I had to make it personal so that I understood what I was going to do with it, so that I know where to put the camera, so I know what to tell the actors, so I know what the story should be. This take, I told them, pointing at the script, is a totally valid and exciting take. It is almost James Bondian, but it wasn't something that I quite related to. Now, he told the studio, he was busy working on Apes at the time because he was working on War for Planet of the Apes. He told the studio that he couldn't even elaborate on his idea for the film at the moment, and he would understand they wanted to pass. He said, to my utter shock and surprise, they said, you know what? We would really like you to do this, and we will wait.
Yo, I think everybody needs to take note from Matt Reeves' response here, because that's perfect. He's not burying anybody. He's not burying.
Oh, so you're saying Joss Whedon. Go ahead, cool. All right.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Take note. He did a fantastic job at saying why he did his script and not wanting to do Ben Affleck's. He didn't bury Ben Affleck's. And Ben's movie, the way he says it, sounds like it would have been a good movie, but I'm really happy to see Reeves do his movie now.
And that's what you're supposed to do. Now, again, my only problem is hearing Matt Reeves keep saying this is such a dark, gritty take on Batman that we've never seen. Nigga, yes, we have. And I don't think nobody's going to call Matt Reeves nigga to his face. I probably won't call him nigga to his face, but via this recording and audio, nigga, yes, we have. I mean, look, like.
I swear to God, I've already said this. If I go to that movie, if I go to the Batman and I have to see the fucking pearls drop.
Oh, no, they've already said it won't happen.
I swear to God, I'm going to walk out of it. I will not watch it until it's on stream. I will walk out of it.
He's already said it, because I think that was the one thing everybody was like, bro, we do not need to see his parents die a fucking again. And he said that this is what you won't see in the movie. So
thank God, because I honestly almost walked out of Batman v Superman because I was like, there's no way I can handle this, because it opened up. I'm like, am I seriously watching them die again?
Also, you can have the why did you say the name? Why did you say the name?
X.
That's all. That was the only reason Zack Snyder made you see Martha Wayne die. Like, just so everybody can remember. Like, because I never forget that moment. I was doing Trusty Sidekick at the time, and I remember going to that moment. It was like I remember talking to Bobby Hill, and we were both like, it was at that moment you just was like, oh shit, Martha Kent and Martha Wayne. You never put the two together.
I was about to say that. That never crossed my mind that they had the same name until that moment. I was like, huh, how has this never been a thing till now?
This has never been a thing. And nobody else, because we just like, oh, Batman's parents dead. Everybody thinks that Thomas Wayne. People forget his mama's name was Martha. So when that nigga was like, you're gonna kill Martha, why did you say that name? Everybody's like, oh, shit.
I really wanted a scene with Aquaman and Bruce where we find out that Aquaman's dad name was Thomas.
Your father's name Thomas? Why you say that? It's just nothing but all scenes Ben Affleck's Batman going to every member of the Justice League. Going, why'd you say that name? Just for random names. You have no idea how they connect to him.
Flash has a buddy named Dick, and he's like, Dick, why'd you say that name?
Why'd you say that name? Or what? Diana calls him like, Bruce, you want to come over and give me some dick? Why'd you say that name? All right, let me move on. So CW's The Flash star Grant Gustin closes in for a new deal that'll take him into his 9th and possibly final season. Now, he just signed a new 1-year deal to return as the Scarlet Speedster for the 9th season, right? It is saying that he will earn over $200,000 an episode, and he signed on to appear in 15 episodes. So they're going to shorten it from like 22, 23 to 15 episodes. My man's is going to make over $3 million. But it is saying this, with season 9 all but confirmed, it will now become the longest running Arrowverse show, which surpasses Arrow. But it will be the second longest running behind Smallville, of course.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I keep telling everybody this. Arrow was supposed to do Smallville numbers.
Yeah.
Arrow was supposed to do Smallville and Supernatural. Well, not even Smallville. We're supposed to do Supernatural.
Did Arrow not do Smallville numbers?
Arrow only went to 8.
Oh, you're talking about number of seasons. I thought you were talking about viewers.
Yeah, I'm talking about seasons. Yeah, Arrow only did. Arrow wasn't supposed to go nowhere. They were like, we're not taking this goddamn show off the air. Like, it was like, yo, we good. Dude, when your show can rebound, when Arrow can rebound after the very, from what a lot of people feel was bad seasons 3 and 4, season 3 with Ra's al Ghul, and then you get season 4 where I can feel you completely wasted Neil McDonough. Thank God for Legends of Tomorrow for resurging and making Damien Dark lovable. But like the Magic season, and you're like, these are bad, but then you bring in Prometheus season 5 and shit gets better.
Yeah. I mean, Smallville had its issues too. There's that season, I think it was season 5, the first one that what's his name, Lex Luthor left the show. That was bad. Like there was an episode where Lana becomes a witch, and like it was a bad season. So Smallville had its issues too, but the fact that Arrow was able to rebound after that and continue to still give out like incredible content. The Flash has had a lot of up and downs, if you ask me. I haven't been a huge fan the last couple seasons. I don't think they've ever lived up to their first season. Their first season was absolutely incredible.
I think because the season it introduced the Flash in a new way that many people hadn't seen since John Wesley Shipp's Flash, right? But also the introduction, Tom Cavanaugh with the spin from being Harrison Wells to actually being Eobard Thawne as the Reverse Flash was just genius writing all across the board, right? And then the second season, you were like, all right, here comes Zoom. Okay, cool. And then you fucked up season 3 and brought in Savitar because Savitar should have been the final season.
Yeah.
Your greatest villain is yourself. Savitar should have been the one you close it out on.
Yeah.
But then you rebounded in season 4 when you got to DeVoe. You rebounded well with the Thinker.
Yeah.
And so you had these different, but there isn't a show, let's just be honest, there isn't a show that lasts this long that doesn't have a lull. There's no such thing.
True. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even Supernatural, the aforementioned Supernatural, has had a lull, and it's all as many times it was on the air before it finally was done. So there's no such thing, but it's all about how you rebound back from that and you keep that fan base. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that. But again, I'm surprised this show has lasted this fucking long, given the drama behind the scenes. But I digress.
True. I'm surprised a lot of the Arrowverse is still on. Like if you would have told a couple years ago, if you would have told me that my favorite 2 shows that they were doing would be the Tyler Hutchin Superman, Hecklin Superman, and Batwoman, I would have told you that you were batshit crazy. But I actually think I didn't like his Superman when he first debuted, but given his own
Nobody did.
But holy shit, he's good on the show. The show's so goddamn good.
I think it was he needed that to be on his own outside of Kara.
Yes.
He needed to be outside because, again, I understand what they were trying to do when they were trying to build. They were trying to build Supergirl up to be as strong. But when to have Clark tell her, "You're stronger than me," and some people are like, he would never do that. No, Clark would probably say that.
That's exactly what Clark would say.
Clark would say that even if he wasn't, even if she wasn't, he would say that because stronger than me means stronger, not just physically. There are other things about you that make you stronger than me. Batwoman, I've kept trying to go back and forth to it. It's one of those things. It's a little difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It was weird. Yeah, I remember because I was the only one of us that liked the screening that we saw at Comic-Con.
Bro, I remember us going.
Yeah,
I remember the Comic-Con, and it was me, you, and our buddy Rob, and we walked up to the screen. We was like, "So we gonna go ahead and do this review real quick?" Yep, let's go and set this up. Well, just saw Batwoman. That was a thing.
Yeah, and so the thing I hated about season 1 was I liked Ruby Rose. I'm the only person on the planet that liked her, but I thought everyone around her
still are the only person on the planet.
I know. I thought everyone around her was terrible, but when she left the show, I feel like everyone else got so much better. And the new girl is also incredible. So I'm like, this is a much better show without her now.
I mean, Javicia is dope as a person, and her acting ability matches up with that just as well. So
yeah. And so to see those shows flourishing and to see the Flash still going, and not knowing what's going to happen, given the Arrow spinoffs failed, Legends has got to be on its last leg.
Legends, let me tell you something about Legends. I love Legends for the fact that there's no rules it has to adhere to.
Facts.
The only Legends can, because of the point of the show is time travel, right?
Yeah.
So yes, you can have a historical event, you fuck it up, but once you turn it back right, everything's cool.
Yeah.
I
love that. I do really miss that original first couple teams though. I don't think the chemistry is there with the team they have now.
I just slightly disagree.
Yeah.
Slightly. I think the chemistry is there. I mean, it is, again, you have one of those things where the teams, the members rotate off the cast, right? And so, different people come and go. Now, Brandon Routh said he didn't want to go. They basically kicked his ass off the show, him and his wife. And so,
oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I think Brandon Routh, I think it was on Instagram. Somebody had posted something about it. And he was like, somebody commented and said, "Yo, we wish you weren't leaving." He was like, "It's not my choice."
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Like, it's not my choice. So he didn't want to go. So, it's the thing with that. All right, let's move on to our next story. Speaking of the Flash, Ezra Miller out here wild, dog.
Oh, what do you do now?
So we talked about this on Blurs in the Hood, which first and foremost, before we get into this, Ezra Miller, whose pronouns are they and them, which we did not know, which Winston and I did not know, because again, I'm reading this article, and this whole article, refers to him as he and him. And I don't think it's widely known that, unless you follow people's pronouns like that, like Ezra isn't openly been about, their pronouns.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Ezra always trends on social media, right? Always does something, says something. Well, the other night, this motherfucker threatened members of the Ku Klux Klan. They didn't provide any context, but the warning was aimed at a specific group, a specific charter of the Klan that operates in the town of Beulah, North Carolina. Since you have not heard this, check this shit out.
Hi, this is Ezra Miller, aka the Bengal Ghouls, the Mad Goose Wizard, and this is a message for the Beulahville chapter of the North Carolina Ku Klux Klan. Hello, first of all, how are y'all doing? It's me. Look, if y'all want to die, I suggest just killing yourselves with your own guns. Okay? Otherwise, keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, and you know what I'm talking about. And then, we'll do it for you if that's really what you want. Okay, talk to you soon, okay? Bye!
What, you get the...
This motherfucker! What did he call himself? The monk?
First of all, it's they, them.
What did they call?
Hi, this is Ezra Miller, aka the Bengal Ghouls, the Mad Goose Wizard.
Mad Goose Wizard! Hey, North Carolina better watch out.
Motherfucker calls himself the Mad Goose Wizard. I want to know, what did the Klan do? Like, besides being the fucking Klan, like,
they know what they did, and he coming. They coming. The Mad Goose Wizard is coming. Hey, look, real talk. Can we just say fuck all the pronouns and just start by going by the Mad Goose Wizard? No pronouns, just the Mad Goose Wizard at all times. That's all. That's how we refer to Ezra Miller from this point forward. Mad Goose Wizard.
I said, what? Like, hey.
And he's wearing the flash ring while he does it. Like, this is on his neck, the flash ring. And he just like, I'm coming for you. And they just like, I'm coming for y'all. Go for him. Get him. Get him. I'm happy. The Mad Goose Wizard going after the KKK.
So, all right. So I just want to play that. So let's go to my final story because I get to talk about this show afterwards. So James Gunn is working on a second Suicide Squad spinoff. Now, he's confirmed that another show
is this the mystery DC project that they said he might be working on?
Yes. This is what he said when he talked to Deadline. It says, quote, "We're working on something else now, another TV show that's connected to that universe. I can't say anything. It's connected to this universe, but I don't think it'll be the same genre as Peacemaker. It won't be as much as a comedy as Peacemaker, but it will be in the same universe." And then when he weighed on the prospect of Peacemaker getting a second season, he said, "There's a really good chance to that. We're the biggest show in the world right now. We're really excited. We all like doing it. We just need to cross some T's and dot some I's," which is basically me. Bruh, James Gunn, please put me in the second. Peacemaker is the best show on television. Dog, are you up on Peacemaker?
His when he starts talking shit about the superheroes. Oh yeah, Aquaman. Now he fucked the fish.
Yo, he said Superman takes the he the Uber leaves in the old shice. I said, what? What? And then Harcourt even had to ask him, where the fuck do you keep getting this from? He was like, Google. Like,
the internet. Dude, I'm not going to tell you. I had to rewatch that intro the first time I watched it, like 3 or 4 times. I was like, did that really just happen?
Oh,
that whole dance segment.
Sir, I've been in my apartment daily trying to make sure I got that choreography down.
Where the TikTok, Jay? Where the TikTok at?
Oh, once I get it down, it's going on TikTok, bro. Once I get it there, that shit's gonna be like, do you really want to take that?
I just put that song on every one of my playlists, dog.
It's my workout playlist. I swear to God it is. I'm working on it's on my workout playlist. As soon as we're done recording, I'm going to the gym. Just I'm like, do you really want to taste that? Like,
oh, it's been
John in Marvel news earlier. James Gunn has said that when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this will be the last time you see this team. Now, people are like, what does he mean? Motherfuckers, some of them are dying. What do you think?
Oh, you think okay. So that was my question. Is the last time you see this team, is that James Gunn's team doing a Guardians of the Galaxy or this team of Guardians?
This team of Guardians.
Yeah.
Because Dave Bautista's gone.
Yeah.
I want to see Chris Pratt shot in the face. I don't know. I want to see Star-Lord shot in the face so bad.
Is he does he at least get his Gamora back and then get shot in the face?
Shoot him in the face while you shoot up through the head. I don't care. Like, I don't care. But yeah, but also the Guardians always interchange people.
True.
They always like I can see Vin Diesel still being around because this nigga only has to say 3 words. Like,
yeah, I see Rocket and him definitely sticking around.
Because it's not a real long commitment for them.
No, it's not. And you can keep using them and having them anywhere else. And you don't have to have the others to have them.
Right.
You know, like I feel like you can't do Drax. Drax can't be by himself, so that makes sense that he can leave. You don't really care about Star-Lord.
Shoot
by
Drax
himself.
in the dick. He don't want to shoot him in the dick. Twist his dick.
So yeah, and you see him like with that comment and James Gunn talking so much about DC. I was thinking that this is the last that James Gunn does with Marvel. Guardians 3 is it for him, and he's gonna really branch out in this Suicide verse.
I think James Gunn is going to be the only person to be able to continue to do both.
Okay.
I think he's going to continue as long as he wants to do both. I don't think Marvel Studios wants to stop using him. If he wants to stop, that's the only way he'll be done.
Yeah. Okay.
If he
that's kind of just how I took. He said, this is the last time you're going to see this team. And I thought he was talking about his team.
Nah, I think he just means this group of Guardians. Huh. Just this group of the Guardians together. And so, but back to Peacemaker. All right. Have you seen the most recent episode?
Yeah.
It's a fucking gorilla. Yo, spoiler alert. Hey, they bringing a gorilla that's damn near a little bit better than Grodd and a little bit and more violent than Monsieur Mala. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw the gorilla, I'm like, are we bringing in Grodd? And then only to find out there's actually a Charlie the Gorilla in DC Comics.
Yes, he is. Hey, that's the one thing about, again, I think I was talking to somebody about this last night with Peacemaker. James Gunn does such deep pulls for this show. Again, the first episode, we got a Batmite reference. Niggas was like, what? Who's that? He's a 2 foot tall imp that stands Batman. Are you serious? Then in this episode, not only do we get Charlie the Gorilla, but the one thing I was hoping to get this whole show, a Kite Man reference.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was so freaking happy. He got a Kite Man reference. And so my question is this, because like, again, spoiler alert, we find out Mern's a butterfly and he got exposed. Yo, that scene with Leo at the end, how she found out he was a butterfly, when she put on the helmet, I was like, oh shit, because I was like, oh shit, when she's like, yo, activate X-ray vision, everybody was like, you could just feel people who are watching, everybody going, oh shit.
You know what? I thought it went way different than I thought it was. I thought she was gonna see and he wasn't gonna know that she saw. I did not expect him to immediately attack her. I was like, oh shit.
Her reaction was like, oh shit. She looked and saw, and her reaction was fear. Like, if her reaction wasn't fear, I think that would have not warranted the chase. But she turned around and she was, ah! But here's my thing. So, like, here's the thing I was asking, I think I asked Winston this. What will a team freak out more about? Finding out Mern's a butterfly or that Waller's her mother?
Ooh. Okay, see, I always thought, I'm still thinking Waller has something to do with the butterflies.
Oh, I think Waller definitely has something to do with the butterflies.
And I thought the daughter was actually going to become our new Amanda Waller. And that this whole innocent thing that she kind of portrays was fake. And she knew all about everything going on.
Oh, she does. Remember, Waller told her.
When she finds out he's the butterfly, I go, oh, maybe she doesn't know. That's why
Okay, so I don't think she knew. I think she knows everything else. I don't think she knew that he was a butterfly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think she knew that he, but also
well, no, not anymore. Not after that reaction.
But also the butterflies clearly aren't the enemy.
No.
There's like, yeah, they're trying to kill them, but that's because they're trying to kill them.
There's something behind it. Yeah.
There's something behind. Like, do we get Madame Butterfly?
Who is Madame Butterfly?
Oh, go read the code. Yep. Do we get Madame Butterfly in this? So, because remember, Judo Master was saying you don't understand. Butterflies aren't what you think they are.
Yeah.
So, are they literally trying to run away from something? And, you know, they're trying to run away from something to make home here, and they're just trying to live their life. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker's fucking it up.
Yeah.
Or is, for like,
wow, Madame Butterfly. Okay.
Is the white dragon, because, bro, look, as much as I hate Nazis, that white dragon suit is kind of cold.
That's a dope costume. Yo, that scene, Vigilante in the prison, sitting with them, was probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
And that's why I said he needs to be the one that has the spinoff.
Yeah. Which I didn't see when I was first watching this. I was like, I don't know about this guy. And then that scene, I was like, oh, this guy's fantastic.
I like the fact that Vigilante's a psychopath.
Oh yeah. And he's like, I don't really feel anything. So, you know,
when Peacemaker was supposed to kill the senator kids and shit, and he was like, he couldn't shoot the kids, and Vigilante was like, don't worry, buddy, I got this. This motherfucker just humming the song. Flop! I'm like, God! He just, flop! I'm like, this nigga just.
And now Papa Bear. He went to Papa Bear last.
He's like, right. He took the kids out first. This nigga took the kids out. Because even, you know how much of a psycho he is, because two different things. One, when they're in Peacemaker's house and he's sitting down on the couch, he's like, do you think when I'm strangling the life out of somebody and their life is going before their eyes and their eyes pop out their head, do you think I enjoy that? Yeah, I absolutely enjoy it. Or when they having the threesome with old boy's wife, and he still got his mask on, and they try to pass him the joint, he was like, "No, can't believe they made that legal." 3 years ago, I'd have shot you in the face for that. What? You shoot niggas in the face for smoking weed? What? You are a fuck. Peacemaker is a murderer. Their moral compass is so. Vigilante was like, I'll never get to kill anybody with a chainsaw. And Condiment comes in, uses the chainsaw, and then he tells me, like, I think he did that to fuck with me, because I just said 15 minutes ago I wanted to kill somebody.
Wouldn't have been cooler if he had thrown it to me.
He just tossed me, and I'm like, oh, cool catch. Then I get to kill somebody. Like, what type of psycho is this?
Oh, classic.
And then to go back to work as a busboy. Yo, that's the craziest shit, that this nigga is a vigilante for all intents and purposes, but a busboy.
Is it not plausible that your random busboy is also a fucking psychotic murderer?
Here's the thing. I will never go to another restaurant now and look at the busboys. I will look with all of them with real weirdness, like, what are you?
Are you murdering motherfuckers? Like,
you got a costume in your book bag in the back. Like, is your car to get around a Sebring?
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Well, that is all I have got for this week. I'm going to go and read the emails I got at the Mad Titan email. MadTitanPodcast@gmail.com. MadTitanPodcast@gmail.com. Of course, you can call the hotline 818-276-6947. 818-276-6947. I got one email. It's from Alonzo Richardson. It just says the title is "It's All About the Story." All right, it's kind of a lengthy one, but it's a pretty good one. Here it goes. It says, "What's up, Mr. J. Washington? I'm glad you're back on your grind at the Mad Titan Podcast. I hope you're in a good place. I hope that you're actually enjoying the work of putting out this show. It sounds like it. You sound good. You have a valid and important voice in the blurred space. Thank you so much for that, first and foremost." Goes on to say, "I wanted just to say thank you for saying it out loud what I've always known to be true. It really doesn't matter the characters, superhero or otherwise, are obscure as long as the story is good. You could do a solo superhero film about Rocket of the Icon comics as long as the story is compelling and engaging, and it will have the potential of making hundreds of millions of dollars. Absolutely. What people miss when they comment that certain superheroes are too obscure to make a movie out of is that most characters that we come to know or love were either obscure or totally made up for the film. Neo, not even a thing before The Matrix. John Wick, one of my favorite characters, yet totally unknown before we saw his story. Rambo, do people even know that his movies were based on a novel? So yes, you can make a Booster Gold movie. If the writing is tight, it can be more popular than Batman. I like the theories that you and your guest host, that was me and Nick Alexander at the time, had about how to bring mutants into the MCU. I think there's an element that people are missing. People are so used to seeing the mutants as a group or connected to a group for so long that they expect to see all of the mutants at once. They expect the mutants to show up in an X-Men style movie, fully formed and ready to fight. It doesn't have to be that way. Beast spent time in the Avengers. Iceman and Firestar used to hang out with Spider-Man. Namor was in the Defenders. What I'm getting at here is that the mutants could appear piecemeal in the MCU or other movies or TV shows. Over the years, maybe Storm appears in Black Panther 3, or Bishop could appear in Loki at the TVA. It could be that Magneto has a run-in with the High Evolutionary. The possibilities are endless. After some of these characters are somewhat established, they would be collected into a film like the X-Men, New Mutants, Excalibur, or whatever. Whatever path Marvel uses, it will require an above-average group of writers to bring the mutants into the MCU. Here's hoping for the best. Best regards, Zoe, host of the Back Look Cinema podcast. Thank you, Zoe. Guys, make sure you check out the Back Look Cinema podcast. I appreciate that. What are your thoughts, bro, on this email?
First thing I want to reiterate that I'm very thankful for his appreciation of you, Jay, because something I love about the Mad Titan podcast and Blurs in the Hood and everything you do is that you really are one of the best hosts in this space. For no matter what it is, whether you're up on stage, whether it's wrestling, whether you're talking on Mad Titan or Blurs, you are a master at your craft. And I do not think that you get enough appreciation for how good you really are at what you do. All right. Hosting, interviewing people, everything you do, I always think you turn out incredible content. And I'm really glad that he took the time to open that up by just talking about how thankful he is for you, because I am too, bro. You're fantastic at what you do.
You niggas not about to have me crying as I record, and we're almost at the end of this show. But go ahead.
And I completely agree. You know, years ago I would have said you cannot do a Batman Beyond movie because my mom doesn't care about a Batman that is not Bruce Wayne. I think that's completely gone now. I think now at this point, you can give us any movie you want about any character you want, and you can make it make sense. They made me legitimately care about Polka Dot Man.
Yeah,
we had an emotional connection to Polka Dot Man. And as silly as the Harley Quinn animated show is, we have a connection to Kite Man.
Mm-hmm.
Which you never would have thought would ever happen, but you still have that connection now. I think he's right. As long as you plan out your story and you know what you're doing, you can make something out of anything now. When people complain about how there's not any original films, I disagree. Like they're continuing to create characters and make franchises out of these unique films. Like he said, a John Wick. No one knew what a Neo was. No one knew the creatures from Avatar, but now they are in the pop culture zeitgeist. You can take whatever you want as long as you do it smart and you make it like Peacemaker. A perfect example as well of someone that probably would have been nothing. But when you add John Cena and James Gunn, it's perfectly done.
I always say this. Peacemaker fits in the Suicide Squad as a character you can let die and don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But now to have Peacemaker be a character that people have come to know and love and have grown with him. And now more people want to know about Vigilante. And again, all these obscure references. Yeah, but now when it comes to the mutants, I agree. when you bring that up, yes, they do have to be piecemeal because again, we're so used to having the X-Men, you know what I'm saying? But the question becomes, I think a lot of comic fans, and I do have to separate that. Yes, comic fans and the comic book movie fans are different because there are some fans of comic book movies who only know the comic book movies. They don't know the comics, so they don't know the stories behind them and whatnot.
I'm an example of that. Like I know the comics because I go and look them up after the movie, but I never read them growing up.
Yeah, so yes, but my thing is I don't want us to go the child route. Yes, I want Xavier to have the school for youngsters, the gifted youngster school, but I think it needs to formulate after he brings the group of mutants together or something.
Because so you think we need the X-Men and then the school?
Well, yeah, more so, but like again, I'll agree with Zoe with the piecemeal part, but my biggest fear, and I've stated this openly, is the moment you open that can of worms, the way audiences are, and they have been clamoring for the X-Men to be introduced since the acquisition was announced, they will never let it stop until it finally happens. They won't fully allow the rest of the world to play out.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I like I said, I agree with Zoe. You do it piece by piece. Yes, Iceman and Firestar were Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Absolutely. Namor, I think Namor comes up. I think Namor is introduced in Black Panther 2. Again, like I brought up earlier, the underwater earthquake, the celestial coming out the ocean, that fucks with Atlantis. So I believe, yes, he can come from out the water. Them wings on his ankles going to look weird as shit. I trust Marvel to make them wings look real. Like, I want the wings to look like good wings, like it's got feathers that don't get water on them. But
feathers that don't get water
on them. So that's a mutant there. But when we hear the X-Men, right, the core X-Men people want to see, for most part, are Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine, Beast, depending on who you ask, a Gambit or a Rogue. And
I'm putting Gambit in Rogue because I grew up on the 90s comic.
And a Jean Grey, right? Depending on who you ask for Jean Grey, because my issue with Jean Grey is I trust Marvel Studios to do it if they do it, but it's always when you got Jean Grey, you're like, here we go. There's a Phoenix story.
Yeah,
like
exactly. I do think that's the team we're gonna get, and all because of X-Men 97. The fact that they're bringing back that cartoon makes me think, okay, this is the team they're going to do. And I think the reason they're going to
Jubilee becomes a big part too.
Yeah, exactly. I think because like the original X-Men movies, I love them. Don't get me wrong, I love those movies, but they turned Rogue into Jubilee.
Yeah.
Like she was, for all intents and purposes, Rogue wasn't the badass that Rogue always was. She was Jubilee.
I've always wanted to ask and figure out, I don't know exactly. My mind slips me and I don't feel like looking it up right now. Again, exhausted and I got to go to work out. Who created Rogue? Did they kind of create her with the thought of Medusa in mind? It's almost a Medusa-like ability. Think about it. Yeah. Medusa's is if you look at a dude, you turn him to stone. Anybody you look at, you turn to stone. Rogue can never touch a man because she'll absorb him and kill him in a sense. And I just thought, because also the Medusa legend, is real fucked up if you think about it. The reason why, because I think she got raped and her father was like, no, this is your curse to curse men. But like, yo, what if you want to be in love? Like,
exactly.
You can't look at a nigga like you gotta, I wear my sunglasses at night. I don't know why I decided to sing that song.
Because that Medusa commercial right now where she gets sunglasses off of Amazon.
Yeah,
that's why.
Is true. Yep, that is true. And they play Chun-Li, which out of all songs, they play Nicki Minaj's Chun-Li instead of I Wear My Sun.
Yep.
Okay, I digress. But I just it's my, again, I know we have a big story and we're expanding this Marvel Cinematic Universe consistently. It is constantly growing, and all it does is grow the universe even further with X-Men characters. And because you can have so many stories, because of course if you take Wolverine's story, because now the question becomes how
do you do it?
Not even just that, how much further in the lore of mutants do we go before we potentially, now I will say this, the mutants open up a whole new world and they connect into the story, but where do we go? Do we keep putting them movie wise, or now we have the Disney Plus route? Do we start?
I expect a lot of shows,
and I think you can introduce the characters that way through the shows and collectively put them together in a movie finally.
Exactly.
I think that works.
What do you, because I always thought it was going to be the fact that we had 3 snaps on Earth.
I did too.
We're going to do something with it.
I did too.
And then I thought the Eternals were going to bring something in, and nothing. I really expected something.
My thought was, this was my initial thought. So in the comics for the Eternals, this is how you got to go back to it for some those who don't know. Sprite wipes some of their memories so they can live normal lives, right? And so as they live normal lives, something has to happen. Sprite wakes them up. So instead of Sprite, but Sprite is always aware that Sprite's an Eternal, no matter what. Sprite stays aware. And maybe Cersei, because Cersei's a party girl, no matter what. I was thinking maybe you do something where they've been dormant in their minds. They don't age for some reason. They don't understand fully why. Shit just keeps changing. And the snaps wake them up, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
The 2 snaps wake them up. Those are Thanos' 2 snaps, right? But when the 3rd snap happens with Bruce, and then the 4th snap happens with Tony, this has introduced so much cosmic radiation that some people's DNAs have mutated.
Yeah.
Because when Rocket said there was an amount of cosmic radiation never before seen,
and Earth was ground zero.
And the Earth is ground zero. The Earth was ground zero for 4 of those. 4. Well, 2. 3. Excuse me, 3. Not the 3rd one. The second one that Thanos did in the fucking in the vineyard.
In the vineyard.
Thanos in the vineyard. With, again, white people. If Thanos can use seasoning, so can you. I will never let that go. Look, Thanos got a pot of water and 1 good arm and sprinkled threw in his little veggies and shit and was like, all right, put a little dash of salt in there. Thanos can use seasoning, bitch, so can you. But just 4 in general, but the 3 that Earth was ground zero for should have been enough to say it changed the DNA of some people. Because the story has always been mutants are the, Sebastian Shaw, that Kevin Bacon said in X-Men First Class, we are children of the atom. The atom bomb did it. And so instead of an atom bomb changing things, an atomic bomb, then you have the cosmic radiation from the snaps. I thought that was going to be the thing. And I was like, for me, as a storyteller and as a writer, that would open the door so much. Because it's like, okay, cool. It's the easiest explanation to say why people's have mutant DNAs. Now, do we have to start out with the kids, have Xavier recruit them as kids? No, we could have some grown adults. Like you could have all of a sudden Scott and Alex Summers playing beer pong with each other, and they get fucking zapped by the cosmic radiation, and in the middle of them getting zapped shooting the beer pong, Alex Summers blasts the fuck out of Scott in his chest, and then Scott gets up off the wall and opens his eyes like, you motherfucker, and then blasts
and then we off to the races.
And we off to the races, But again, I said it before, and I will always say it. If I give you trust, I will always say he has figured out how to tell these stories, and the majority of the world is on board with these stories. Yes, you have a lot of directors who are like, this is blah, 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 blah. But look, that was like Westerns took over a generation. Then 90s action movies took over a generation. This generation now is predicated on superheroes. It is what it is. But again, Zoe, thank you so much for that. All right. That, again, you can send me emails, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. That is going to wrap up everything I got for this week's episode of the Mad Titan Podcast. BC, bro, I thank you as always, man. I love talking to you here, and I just talk to you in general. Go ahead and tell the people how they can find you and what you got going on, sir.
Hey, man, it's good to be back. You can check out my website, thegrindcalls.com, where we post pop culture positivity. And you can follow me on all social medias at The Grind Calls, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all check those out. Make sure you check out Zoe from the Back Look Cinema podcast as well. Me, y'all know why I'm at it. If you don't, I'm at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAY Washington 80, man. Whenever some more trailers and trailer reactions and I'm reviewing movies, I'm dropping them on there just to put out the content for y'all, no matter how tired I am. And that is it right now. Blurs in the Hood. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. For the month of February, we are going to do the full show live only on Twitch. But what we will do, in the spirit of the Daily Show and all of the shows you see, we are going to put up the stories and clips on our YouTube channel. So to watch the show live, twitch.tv/blurredsinthehood for the month of February. And on YouTube, youtube.com/blurredsinthehood. Now, we're going to do that. Please subscribe. What was I about to say with that? It's only for the month of February, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. That is that. Then I want to also thank all of my producers to the show, the members of my supervillain squad who support me. If you want to support me at the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Mr. J Washington series. I have to catch up with one of the members, Randy Constance. My schedule was so crazy, bro, towards the end of this month. I'm sorry I couldn't schedule you for this one by the time you had joined in. We're going to get February set together. Even though I will be getting that locked in while I am going through all the shows and traveling and everything I got to do. So I will do that. I'm trying to open up my Patreon. I'm trying to stall while my computer acts stupid. Don't you hate that, bro? Can you hear me?
When your computer decides it wants to go slow?
Yeah, when your computer just want to freeze up on you, like,
and you sitting here like, hey man, now's when I need the information, and now is when you want to go slow. You
like I've had it normally. Like literally, I've had it sitting up here the whole time, but now I got it. Thank you to all the members of the squad. Alberto Rios, thank you for being at the 101 level. Brock Severson, thank you. Chauncey Wilson, thank you, bro, and thank you for being at the 101. Cheryl Foreman, Christopher Lee, Chris Lee, thank you so much, bro. Thank you for being at the 101 level, and I hope you get better soon. I got your message yesterday. I was so busy. I hope you feel better soon. Things got you down. Hope you get better, bro. Christopher Conley, Dan Bemke, David Adams, Davlin, Edward Wilshire, Fanboy Cantina, Fillmore Pockets, Fred Castillo, Hillary Nellis, James Robbins, Jim Payne, Jolene, thank you, and thank you for being at the 101 level. Jim Payne, thank you as well for being at the 101 level. Justin Square, Kenneth Daisy, Kirsty Oliveria, Marcus Button, Burton, Marlon, AZ Badfish, I appreciate you. Come on, scroll down now. Scroll down. We got a few more people we got to get to. Come on. I just wanted to freeze up on me, all right? Cool, here we go. Patrick Harden, I thank you. Quentin M. Milrow, Randy Constance, as always. Thank you for being back, bro, and at the 101 level. Rudy Rueda, thank you, and for being at the 101 level. And I will check out Scream for sure. I want to make sure I put that out there. Soul Gobin, thank you as well. Again, if you guys want to support, I'm going to put a wrestling conversation, talk about the Royal Rumble up on the Patreon. I'm going to talk about some of the things. How do you want to see the X-Men? Different things we don't talk about. And when you go and become a member of the squad, you get into my Discord. And as far as that goes, also, we're going to start a Blurs in the Hood Discord. We're trying to figure out how to do it. We want members of the neighborhood to join that, so we're going to do that. I might just do it. And we thought we can myself and Winston merge our Discords, but can't do that. So what we're going to do is just going to make one specifically for that. All right, that about wraps it up. I will holler at y'all next week. Again, I'm trying to keep these coming every week, y'all, for y'all. If it's me by myself or it's with guests, either way it goes, you get me. I'll holler at y'all. Take care. I'm out. Bye.